I'm gonna show you a couple comparisons. So now this is where Greige R compares to Oyster and your lightest, brightest, coolest City Collection blonde. You know what, as I'm feeling this is very soft. Isla here does not have any of that Permatease. So this is what this will look like on this particular color. Let's take this off and show you what I mean by that wide center part. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Chiquel YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and today I'm really excited to bring you a little review on Isla by Rene of Paris. But before I jump into it all, I'm going to remind you to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can learn even more about alternative hair. So I am just going to start this off by saying if you are looking for that newer, low density, just easy to wear classic style, Isla is a really good option for you. So Isla here is a brand new style by Rene of Paris. It was released on February 9th, 2026. And here I am today showing it to you in all of its glory, as well as the fact that this is also a new color that they have added into rotation here. And this one is called Greige R. So Greige R can be a little bit of a confusing color, especially when you don't have anything to compare it to. So I'm going to show you a couple comparisons so you can see kind of where it lands. But ultimately, hold on. Okay, Greige R is basically a blend of a silver gray with some beige tones in it, giving it a little bit of a hint of blonde, just like a little wink of blonde there. And then we do have a medium brown root. So when people look at this, they're often confused because they're like, well, is it more blonde or is it more gray? Like, I don't know where it falls. So I have two colors here to show you so that you can kind of see where it's gonna sit amongst the other colors. So I have the color called Oyster. So Oyster is basically a blended color here. You have your lightest gray, you have some silver and white, plus you have some darker gray at your nape here. You can see that. It's very short, so it's hard to get that in there, but you do, oh, there it is. You have the darkest gray at your nape. So overall, it's just a blend of light gray, silver and white, creating this, you know, trendy gray color, and there's no roots on this. But this is where it falls in comparison to Greige R. So you might be going, okay, I mean, like I see how it can compare as a gray, but then I'm gonna show you a blonde here, and I'm gonna show you Belle Tresse's blonde called Crushed Almond Blonde, which is their lightest, coolest dimensional blonde color that they have in their City collection. So now this is where Greige R compares to Oyster, which is, you know, a pretty standard blend of grays, and your lightest, brightest, coolest Belle Tresse City Collection blonde. So obviously when you look at the Greige R in comparison to these two colors, Greige R is darker, but I definitely see more gray than I do blonde within this color here. If I come up close, you can see a little bit of that beige blonde poking through, but it's not enough to overwhelm the color to make you be like, okay, yeah, that's more of like an ashy blonde color. No, it's not. It's Greige, I feel like, is a really good term for it because it is gray and it has a bit of beige. Anyways, let me put these down. And what I'm gonna do is, because I'm standing directly in front of a window, I don't have any artificial lighting. I'm gonna actually back up because sometimes when I am in front of a window, although it shows the color, sometimes what it does is it brightens the color a little bit for you, which then you'll get it and you'll be like, it was way brighter and lighter on Amanda. So now I'm gonna back up so I'm not directly in front of the window, so I don't have like as much light on me, and you're gonna see this start to darken a little bit. But now the funny thing is when I look at this and what I see in the camera here, it looks darker in the camera than it does in person. So this is why color on screens and on videos, it's helpful, but it's also not helpful all at the same time. So all I can do is try my best to describe the color for you and give you a couple different lighting options so you can see sort of where it might fall, and also comparisons to colors so you can also see where it might fall. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. I'm just talking and yapping my mouth off. Let's talk about Isla itself, because I actually truly do really like this wig. So like I was saying, this is a low density style. You really don't have a lot of hair on here. I'm putting it all back in a ponytail so you can see. Now, one thing about Isla is there's not a lot of layering throughout your style. You'll see a little bit of layering in the front here, and it, you know, gradually cascades down. But overall, this style is basically one length, not layers throughout the style. And then it has nice feathered ends, so it's not like a blunt cut. And then you can see there's a little bit of shape and structure to this cut. Now I'm gonna take my measuring tape from the center part right here, and I'm gonna show you how long it truly is and it is going to sit just past 12 inches long, maybe 12.5 inches long, from the center part to the very bottom. I know sometimes people look at me and they think that this is where it's gonna sit on them, but just keep in mind everyone has different lengths of faces, different lengths of necks, so yours might sit longer on you because honestly, I think I've decided that the combination of my face and neck length is long. I think I have a long giraffe neck and I don't think I realized that. Anyways, if you take your measuring tape, put it in the center of your head and let the measuring tape fall to the side, you can see where 12.5 or so inches is gonna sit on you. So this is made with heat-friendly synthetic fiber. And you know what, as I'm feeling this is very soft, but also keep in mind this is straight out of the box, other than the fact that I've just taken out the zigzag part here. But this is essentially straight out of the box with no styling to it, no washing, no nothing. I haven't worn this anywhere. I've only put it on for a couple of videos. But overall, this is going to be one that will be easy to maintain because it is straight. So as I say in almost every single video that I do with heat-friendly synthetic fiber, I'm gonna say it again, but heat-friendly synthetic fiber needs maintenance. So over time, what is going to happen to your heat-friendly synthetic fibers, actually, when I say over time, I truly mean like after a couple of wears, to be honest. It happens fast, especially styles that hit your shoulders. Anyways, what happens is that the ends will get frizzy and frazzly and fuzzy and crunchy feeling and dry feeling. And you're gonna think like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. This is gonna go in the garbage. But don't do that. It just means that it's a sign that it needs maintenance. And something like this is going to be pretty easy to maintain. I actually just recently released a video where I showed how I maintained a longer heat-friendly synthetic style. And I showed how you can either use a hair straightener or a hot air brush. And that's gonna help take the frizz away in just a few minutes really and make it feel much smoother and softer again. With something like Isla here, because it has a little bit of that shape here, I would love to go through with a hot air brush at the ends so that it doesn't stick straight. So I would go through with the hot air brush and help it maintain that shape at the bottom and sort of hold it in place so it cools like that. And then when you let go, it's gonna cool in that shape. Plus the frizzy ends will be gone. And like I said, it truly does only take you a couple of minutes. However, it's something that you will probably have to do every 2 or 3 wears or so, or when you start to see the frizz happen. Now, one of the great things about Isla and its length overall is that it's not gonna tangle too much. You are gonna find it tangles a little bit, maybe at your nape, and a little bit throughout sort of the ends here, but because it is sitting shoulder length and above, you are not gonna have to battle the tangles too much, which is also really nice for the longevity of the piece and for the fact that you might not have to put heat on it as much as you would if it were a bit of a longer style. Okay, you know, I have not done a spin for you yet, so let me spin around so you guys can see what the whole thing looks like. So we've gone over the fact that this is a fairly low density style, but what I haven't mentioned yet is the lack of permatease. So permatease is a short-haired crimping effect done at the root of some synthetic styles. However, Isla here does not have any of that permatease. So permatease is used in wigs to help create shape and volume and lift and structure within sort of the body of the wig, but it is also there often to help disguise the wefting. So all of this here, and to kind of create a barrier between the outside world and your scalp so that if the fibers blow or move, you're not gonna see through to your scalp. Isla here does not have that permatease, which a lot of people love because it's not gonna feel too poofy. But then at the same time, sometimes people are concerned about the lack of permatease because they're like, but if I move my head, are you gonna see the wefting? So I honestly cannot see what I'm doing. So you're gonna have to tell me, like if I shake my head, do you see any wefting? I don't know. I don't think you can, but anyways, that was just, you know, a little demonstration for you. So if you are someone who has been experiencing hair loss and you are used to having not a ton of hair, Isla would be a really great starter wig for you because you're not going to feel too overwhelmed with hair. Plus, Isla has just enough features on it to give it that natural appearance where you're going to be able to wear this out and not feel too self-conscious that other people are going to think you're wearing a wig. And that's because it has this lovely lace front on it. So the lace front allows you to pull this back and off of your face while maintaining that illusion of scalp, the illusion of hair growth from your hairline, pardon me. So this is what this will look like on this particular color. Keep in mind that the knotting on the front of your lace fronts is going to appear different depending on the color you have. The lighter the color, the less visible the knotting. The darker the color, the more visible the knotting. So this is kind of nice because it has a mixture of that light and that dark. So it does create a pretty natural hairline for the most part, and I am not too bothered by it in the slightest. And also the lace blends pretty nicely with my skin tone, so I don't see it too much. Now that lace front, it's a monofilament material, and it's going to go directly into your wide center monofilament part. So having a wide center monofilament part is really great because it gives you options for parting. Not only can you part it in the center where it is right now, but you can also part it on the left fairly far actually. So I'm parting it as far as I can to that seam where you can't part it any further. That's as far as you can part it on the left. So you can do a left part if you want. This is what she'll look like. You might just need a little bit of heat to help sort of lay it a little bit flatter and help guide the fiber in the direction you want to go, because it's not going to fully want to go there yet because it's trained to want to be in the center. But this is ultimately what a left part might look like. And then of course you could have that right part as well. So there is a right part too. So all of this, having that wide center part, what it does is it gives you those options of center, right, or left, all while decreasing the price of the wig just by a little bit, because it's not a full monofilament top. If this were a full monofilament top, it would be able to be parted until about here, where you feel like the next seam into the rest of the cap. But you can only part it to here. So it gives you the option while lowering the price a bit because you don't have more hand-tied space on the monofilament. Am I making any sense? I'll explain more when I take this wig off. Anyways, it's lovely. I like it. And before I take this off, I will let you know that Isla fits very true to average. So there is a good amount of stretch in this cap here. So I am a petite size. I measure 20.5 inches in circumference, 11.5 inches front to nape, 11.5 inches ear to ear. So all of my measurements are petite. I would bring these adjusters in a little bit to make it a little bit more snug around my circumference. I do have some extra bulk in the cap here, which that's, you know, a personal preference. I don't mind having a little bit of extra bulk personally. I've learned to deal with it just because I do have a small head. But if it bothers you, having that extra bulk, this might not work for you if you are a petite. If you are average or a little bit bigger than average, you should be fine because you do have a lot of that extra stretch that will work in your favor. Okay, let's take this off and show you what I mean by that wide center part. So whenever you have a center monofilament part, it's usually only about an inch wide, and then you truly only do get that center part option, but this is much wider than that. Now, if you see this section here, if this were a full monofilament top, you would see all this monofilament in this whole horseshoe space here. And having that extra section of monofilament where the fibers have been hand tied onto it, that would increase the price a little bit because it's more hand-tied spots on this wig. But having this center part that is a bit wider decreases the cost a little bit, not by much to be honest, but a little bit, while giving you options of parting space. So then that monofilament goes straight into that lace front here. That extends a little bit into your ear tabs. You have your felt ear tabs with the metal stays in them, and the metal stays help to keep the ear tabs flush against your temples. Then you have an open wefted cap. Like I mentioned, it's nice and stretchy. It's also breathable, ventilated. And then your extended felt nape with your Velcro adjusters where you can adjust the circumference of the wig. So all in all, this is the new lovely Isla by Rene of Paris. So like I said, if you are looking for that low density, kind of everyday standard look, easy to wear, easy to maintain, natural looking, this is a really good option. If you have any questions at all about Isla, let me know below. I'm happy to answer. Or if you've already tried Isla, even though it's new, maybe you already have it, but if you've already tried Isla, let us know how you feel about it, because I really like this one. This is a style and a cap that I would personally feel comfortable wearing out into this world. But anyways, you guys, I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you so much for being here and watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.